Hi everyone, today I'll talk about how to strategically apply to medical schools so that you can maximize your probability of receiving an offer. In my opinion, this is the most important consideration because having any offer is better than having no offer. Now, getting into medical school has two components: your likelihood of landing an interview, and once you're interviewed, your likelihood of getting an offer. As for the interview shortlisting, that depends on two key things: your school grades and your UCAT score. Now, for your school grades, the university website will usually tell you whether they shortlist applicants based on their grades, and if so, how. So first, please make an objective assessment of your school performance, what grades you can reasonably expect, and check that against the university entry requirements. One resource I recommend is the Medical School Council website, which has a web page listing the entry requirements of each medical school. You can find the link below in the video description. That said, many medical schools actually don't look at your grades beyond a minimum cutoff, at which point they use the UCAT as the only tool to shortlist applicants for interviews. Therefore, once you've received your UCAT score, you should think carefully and strategically apply to medical schools where ideally your UCAT is higher than the cutoff and historical average of interviewed applicants, so that you can be a competitive applicant and you can maximize your chances of getting in. A resource I'd recommend for considering this is a MedEntry blog series going over which medical schools you should apply to given specific UCAT score ranges. This is also linked below in the video description. Please remember, the UCAT is the tool used to shortlist applicants for interviews, so you should carefully pick your medical school choices to maximize your chance of getting an interview. The third factor to consider is the competition ratio for interviews versus places. The proportion of interview invitations to actual spots varies among different medical schools. Again, you should want to maximize your probability of getting an offer by applying to medical schools with a more generous post-interview acceptance ratio. For instance, Bristol University has 1.6 interview spots for each place, whilst for Liverpool that figure is 6.8. So based on this figure alone, I'd favour Bristol over Liverpool, all else equal. You can find some of these admission statistics on the same Medical School Council webpage that I mentioned. Alternatively, universities may publish them on their websites, as in the case of Edinburgh. Finally, if you're willing to dig in deep, you can go to this website called whatdotheyknow.com, where you can find past and request yourself freedom of information requests to medical schools regarding their admissions statistics. The final factor to consider is the region where you live in. For example, the University of Central Lancashire only accepts home applicants who live in northwest England, so if you're from there, that's great news for you. Make sure to apply there, as you'll be in a smaller applicant pool. Alternatively, if you're Scottish, then you should apply to as many Scottish medical schools as you can, since 90% of these places go to Scottish students. Finally, if you're an international student, then you should carefully research which medical schools accept international students, as some universities don't have international places and some have more international places than others. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I hope that after watching this video, you can use some of the strategies that I've talked about to maximize your chances of getting into medical school. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.